right, guys, we are back. We are back with a live episode. Oh, sorry, that was my phone. Sorry. We are back with a live episode. We are doing Aegon's Conquest. Now I see Black Valyria, our queen that is always is. She
My
complaining
girl.
right now. She on 10 right now. She like, I think they should watch this at the end, but this is not a Dance of Dragons. This is Aegon's Conquest. This is the very beginning. This is no spoilers to House of Dragons.
So
Right.
have we seen this before? Anything? No.
No.
So, and they're not gonna give us like any hints to what we're gonna see later, right?
No.
Okay.
Like, all of this is just, like I said, it establishes who the Targaryens was and how all the houses became one kingdom and stuff like that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I get it. That explains a little bit of, yeah.
Valyria and the House Targaryen by Viserys Targaryen.
Can you guys hear us real good?
Hey,
How's the audio?
how y'all doing?
Because we are live
We got new hardware.
with the DJI Bike Minis.
Very incognito, by the way. You know,
It
Great for content.
Like, I guess it could be incognito, but they got a whole little afro right now.
I mean, no, that's optional. You know, you can have that and then you can't for.
So what is so y'all know that mama ain't all that tech savvy. So what is the afro, what is it called?
It's
kinda
a
like
wind
pop-
musk.
Yeah, it's like a wind musk.
A wind musk?
Like a pop.
So like when I'm speaking, if I have like behind my W's,
yes.
it
Or-
kind of blocks that.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm still gonna call it a little afro. I like little afro better.
It's still very incognito.
Yeah, I like little afro better than wind musk. I got my wind musk on. Nope, I got my little afro. Oh,
For the leg.
yeah,
Okay. So
yeah. I have to remember that I can't be doing certain stuff.
Because we're live.
Yeah. Yeah. But sometimes these hands do what they do, and I can't.
how are you guys
Yeah.
feeling?
Yeah, how's everybody out there? What are you guys doing? How's life? Life, I know it's life for everybody. Especially with the orange man.
Okay, Shia says hello.
Hi,
She says,
Shia.
I adore y'all.
Oh, thank you, Shia. We love you. From the Midwest. We don't know exactly where you are, but love from the Midwest.
Right. How about this? When you guys interact with us, let us know where you're from. Because we know, like, we know everybody's not from right here, so it would be really nice to know where you're tuning in from. I would like that.
All right. Now, with that being said, we're about to get into Aegon's Conquest.
This world wasn't always so small and petty. Thousands of years ago, while the rest of men prayed to gods, the Valyrians became them. Through magic or sheer will, they mastered the greatest creatures in history. A horse grants man dominion over the land, a ship over the sea. Years ago, the doom fell on Valyria. Mountains cracked open like eggs, lakes and rivers boiled, fountains of fire, ash and smoke spewed from the ground, so high and so hot that even dragons burned in flight. The land splintered, and the angry sea rushed in. In hours, the greatest city in history became history. But my ancestors didn't burn Aegon Targaryen abandoned the capital with his family. Legends claim that his daughter foresaw the destruction of the city in a dream. More likely, Aegon met with some mishap at court and chose exile over execution. He and House Targaryen slipped away to a dreary, remote, god-forsaken island. Forsaken no longer. With arts now lost to the world, we transformed a tiny outpost into Dragonstone, a fortress fit for the last Dragon Lords. Then Aenar's descendants settled into it like a tomb for their lost homeland. Until Aegon. When he looked east, he saw the past, old, tired, dead. But when he looked west, he saw the future. Gold in the ground, gold in the fields, and no dragons in the sky but his. He and his sisters, Rhaenys and Visenya, flew over the great continent, ostensibly visitors to a strange land. But when Aegon returned, he ordered construction of a massive table carved in the shape of Westeros, with all the notable rivers and mountains that they had seen. A personal map of the Seven Kingdoms, then ruled by 7 squabbling families. House Durrandon held the Stormlands from their seat at Storm's End, due south of Dragonstone. House Hora of the Iron Islands had also conquered and enslaved the Riverlands and ruled them from Harrenhal, a monstrous castle rising on the shore of the God's Eye. House Stark held the frozen wasteland of the north, the oldest, largest, and emptiest of the kingdoms. House Lannister held the Westerlands, the wealthiest kingdom, thanks to their gold mines. House Gardner held the Reach, the second wealthiest kingdom, thanks to their crops. House Arryn held the Vale, or rather the Vale held them. The mountains were impassable, except through the Bloody Gate, which had never been taken. House Martell held the deserts of Dorne, probably because no one else wanted
Some of
them.
them fell.
Together, the 7 kingdoms made Westeros, a realm that wasn't yet a realm, ruled by great families who didn't know what greatness was. Aegon would teach them.
Okay. Whoa.
What y'all think about that?
I want to know what happened. What?
Yeah, I want to know who fell to whom,
We have
because somebody had to fall to somebody.
Right. All these
So
houses
we
and-
still have Lannister.
we still have Lannister.
We still have Stark.
We still have Stark.
Yes.
Some of these we don't have where we are right now. So this is the history. So who fell to whom?
Yeah.
Like
okay, yeah.
who beat whom? Like we know who still exists, but who did you fight against and who did you lose to? You understand where I'm coming from? That's what I want to know.
That part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Because you had to lose to somebody because you don't exist anymore. And for you not to exist, someone had to wipe out your bloodline.
Like, so how did this come about? Let's see. This is interesting.
All right. All right.
Though House Durrandon titled themselves Storm Kings, they were little more than gusts. Their kingdom in the Stormlands had been doddering to its end for the past few centuries, helped along by other houses, most of all by House Hora, who were nearly finished with the monstrous castle at Harrenhal. Too large and too costly a seat to rule only the Riverlands. King Argilac knew where the Ironborn would soon turn. You'd think a king who wanted to keep his crown would be wary of a man with fire-breathing monsters. But King Argilac Durrandon wasn't called the Arrogant for nothing. Determined to arrest his family's decline, he sent an envoy to Dragonstone to enlist Aegon Targaryen and his dragons against his enemies. In exchange, Argilac offered lands he didn't have and a wife Aegon didn't need. For, as the Valerians did, Aegon had brought his elder sister, Visenya. Then, as the Valerians didn't, he took the younger Rhaenys as well. 2 sisters, 2 wives. Perhaps that's why he was so keen to get off Dragonstone. Aegon countered Argilac with courtesy. He sent his own envoy requesting that Princess Durrandon's hand be given instead to Aegon's closest friend and rumored half-brother, Orys Baratheon. Argilac answered with a
Wait a
box
minute.
and a note. These are the only hands your bastard shall have of me. Inside the box were the hands of Aegon's envoy. How long had Aegon been waiting for such a pretext? As his army prepared to sail, ravens flew to every great lord of the Seven Kingdoms. All bore the same message. From this day forth, there would be but one king in Westeros. Those who bent the knee to Aegon of House Targaryen would keep their lands and titles. Those who took up arms against him would be thrown down, humbled, and destroyed. Poor old Argilac. He couldn't even match Aegon in arrogance. Aegon landed at the mouth of the Blackwater River
Aegon
and
Fort.
raised a primitive Aegon fort in the disputed land between Harren's and Argilac's kingdom, so that neither could decide whose problem he was. Adopting the customs of the Seven Kingdoms, Aegon unfurled his own banner with a red three-headed dragon breathing fire upon a black field. Visenya crowned him with a ruby-studded circlet of Valyrian steel, while Rhaenys hailed him as the first High King the continent had seen since the Dawn Age. As his lords and the gathered locals cheered him, Aegon named his loyal friend to a small council, led by Orys Baratheon, whom he called my strong right hand. The title stuck, and a bastard became the first Hand of the King. But for now, Aegon's kingdom contained only a rocky island and a handful of fields. The other kings had larger armies, ships, castles, and thousands of years of rule. But Aegon had dragons. He had chosen for the words of his house fire and blood. Before he was done, the rivers, fields, and skies would turn red.
Well,
Harren of House Horror inherited a kingdom that stretched from the Iron Islands to the Triton. Two great.
All right, I'm gonna pause it right here. Now this right here is coming up about Harrenhal. We heard of Harrenhal when the acting hand of the king, the imp, told
let me see the
Littlefinger.
back.
He told him one of the things that you get for helping me do this,
Oh yeah, he told me get Harrenhal.
you get
I
Harrenhal.
remember that. He definitely did.
Okay.
A kingdom to rule from a castle as shitty as pike.
So this is
For
Harrenhal.
40 years, these Ironborn plundered the Riverlands for
All right, we're gonna pause right here. We want to welcome Shia to the VIP memberships.
Welcome,
And we have the sound effects
Shia.
out. We just round of applause.
Let's go.
We're gonna welcome Shia to the VIPs. In the VIPs, you get first dibs on everything. You get first dibs on videos. You get first dibs on certain perks. You know? Yeah.
Let's go. Welcome, Shia, to the VIP section.
All right. We're gonna get back into this loop.
stone, timber, and slaves to build a seat-worthy oven. Legend has it that masons laid the final stone in Harrenhal on the very day that Aegon landed in Westeros. Could have been a divine omen. Could have been the masons wanted to fuck off before the dragons got there. They weren't the only ones.
Thank you.
At Aegon's approach, Harren's river lords revolted, led by House Tully. I thought Harren noticed. Harrenhal could repel an army of 1,000,000 men. No ladder could summit its walls, and no ram could shatter them. The castle was as impregnable as an old mate's cunt. Harren shut his gates around himself, his sons and his Ironborn, and waited for Aegon's army to drain back into the muck. When Aegon finally saw the monstrous castle, he asked for parley. Harren granted it.
So you say Harrenhal could repel any army. Like this is the biggest castle. Like it took Harren damn near 40 years to build this damn castle,
Okay.
and he made sure he peeped the scene. Paid
And he has an army large enough to destroy any.
Not even just that. Even if his army ain't big enough, no army can get through these walls.
Okay.
He made
Okay.
it.
He has
built
made
it like that.
he made his fortress big enough where like this man and ain't nobody gonna take it over.
Right.
Nobody.
Okay.
But what folks just said, he didn't account for dragons.
Yeah.
Okay, so guess what? Ain't no dragons now, so listen to that. Big enough and large enough where nobody can penetrate the walls.
At that time, he didn't think it
Yield
was.
now,
Well, we talking about
and
now.
you may remain
Us.
as Lord of the Iron Islands. Yield now, and your sons will live to rule after you. You see my army outside your walls. You see my dragons.
What is outside my walls is of no concern. Those walls are strong and thick,
Dragons fly.
but stone doesn't burn.
When the sun sets, your line shall end.
Harren spat and returned to his castle. Once inside, he promised lands, riches, and Tully's daughters to whoever could bring down Aegon or his dragon. As the sun sank below the horizon, all of Harren's men patrolled the battlements, hearing wings in every gust of wind. But the moon rose and sank, and no dragon appeared.
While the Ironborn were ringing the battlements, Aegon drove his dragon Valerion higher and higher in the night sky, so that even the great castle of Harrenhal looked like an anthill below them. Then they plunged straight into the castle, well inside the guarded walls. The 5 towers of Harrenhal reached towards Aegon like a hand. Valerion opened his mouth and bathed all the fingers in flame.
Harren was right. Stone doesn't burn, but men do. Even when they're Ironborn. The dragon blasted my ancestors into ash that choked the survivors when they screamed. Harren's soldiers leapt from the battlements and died. They huddled against the walls and died. They fled across the yard and died.
There go
Harren
Harren.
and his sons took shelter inside the castle. Stone didn't burn, but as Valerian blasted it with fire,
They
it
baked.
glowed white hot. The world's greatest castle became the world's greatest oven, baking the
They
last
baked.
of House Aura within it.
Outside the castle walls, the towers of Harrenhal glowed red against the night and began to twist and melt like 5 huge candles, with liquid stone trickling down their sides like wax. The next morning, Aegon forged a new Riverlands. He named the rebel Edmund Tully as his Lord Paramount of the Trident, and had the other River Lords swear him fealty as their new liege. For centuries, House Aura had terrorized the Riverlands. Under House Tully, the Riverlands would at last return to peace and prosperity. After the castle cooled enough to allow men inside, Aegon ventured into the ruin he'd made of Harrenhal. He saw the ashen bodies, the scorched stone, and the mangled and melted swords of his former enemies. To his men's confusion, he ordered these useless swords collected and sent to his Aegon fort.
What y'all think about that? You build.
While Aegon marched on Harrenhal after him,
You build a big ass castle.
He didn't think that all the way through. That's all I got to say about that. I mean, he didn't think that all the way through.
Well, he wasn't thinking about dragons.
Yeah. Like I said, he didn't think that all the way
Right,
Because-
but folks, okay.
He was fortified all the way around on all 4 sides. He just didn't have anything fortifying him from above. The dragon spit fire from above. What
Even
was
if
it?
they would have spit it right at it, like you said, they spit it at the castle, like they were inside sheltered, but it turned the whole castle into an oven, so he still would have been
from above. He didn't think about from above. You see what I'm saying? Am I wrong?
No,
Oh, okay.
everybody now.
Because they couldn't have done shit from outside. The only way they got him was from above because he didn't think about, but how was he going to protect himself from above then?
He got cocky. Because he met with Aegon, asked for parley. They went outside, they talked. Aegon was like, you see my army, you see my dragons.
Yeah.
And then he was like, what's outside my walls is no
Don't
concern.
matter to me, but he wasn't thinking about them fucking dragons. He was thinking about the army on the ground.
Yeah, his head got too big.
Yeah, what
He
did
started
you
feeling
not
himself.
think when he said you see my dragons? Like, oh shit, they could fly. Let me make a deal with this dude because we gonna all die. Like, he was not thinking. Yeah, he was too cocky. But he wasn't thinking. Like, dragons fly. Ain't nothing above us to help us.
Yeah.
We can't make it out of this. Well, first of all, not just fly. They fly and spit fucking fire.
Real fire.
So it's not even about the fly, because birds fly. They fly and spit fire.
That part.
We have no win against this fire. So I probably need to make a deal with this dude so that my people can at least live. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And so we can figure out how the fuck to get around this, where we can go back and be our own people. But until then, we gotta kind of wiggle and work with these people so that we are not dead or in captivity. Like, it's just common sense. Like, but yeah, common sense ain't common.
Ain't never been common sense. Ain't never been real common or so
I
common.
promise you, since the beginning of time, common sense ain't been common. Cause Eve wouldn't have she wouldn't have took the apple, and she wouldn't have made a man eat that
Horus
motherfucker.
Baratheon had taken most of his forces and his queen Rhaenys with her dragon south to deal with the exclusively invasion. Argilac the Arrogant, king of the Stormlands. Argilac had his seat at Storm's End, a castle considered the most impregnable in Westeros after Harrenhal. Argilac may have been arrogant, but
This
wasn't
is Storm's
stupid
End. This
or
is what
coward.
King Robert's from.
His
Remember the
lords advised
Baratheons.
him
Horus
to shut
Baratheons.
his
That's
gates
King
and
Robert's
wait out the
ancestor.
siege. But he'd heard what had happened at Harrenhal and refused to die a suckling pig cooked in
It
his
was
own
still around
castle.
too.
He would meet victory or defeat the same way, with sword in hand. He called his banners and marched to meet Horus Baratheon in the field. Thanks to Rhaenyra's dragon, Meraxes, Horus knew Argilac was coming, how many men he had, and how fast he marched. So Horus simply seized the high ground and dug in on the hills to wait for Argilac. As the two armies approached,
Hey, Black Valeria, she said, as you can see from Rob's descendants, they always chose violence.
Always.
Man.
Clearly.
his own castle,
Because they ready.
he would meet victory or
Yeah,
defeat
God,
the same
like
way.
he said straight up said, he's not gonna be like, oh boy, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna burn
yeah.
up in my castle.
I'm
I'm
ready.
gonna go out here and
I'm
fight.
finna
I'm
sit
already
already.
And
I'm
they can't
sitting
prepare.
already.
They know what they know what they in for everything.
Absolutely. Like, fuck it, we gotta do this.
Most of his forces and his queen Rhaenys with her dragon south to deal with the exclusively invasion. Argilac the Arrogant, king of the Stormlands. Argilac had his seat at Storm's End, a castle considered the most impregnable in Westeros after Harrenhal. Argilac
Because it's
may
better
have
for
been
some of us to live than for all of us to die. Like,
His lords
come on.
advised him to shut his gates and wait out the siege. But he'd heard what had happened at Harrenhal and refused to die a suckling pig cooked in his own castle. He would meet victory or defeat the same way, with sword in hand.
Absolutely.
He called
Either,
his banners
but
and
I ain't gonna
marched
go
to
down
meet
like no
Horus Baratheon
motherfucking
in the
punk.
field. Thanks to Rhaenyra's dragon, Meraxes, Horus knew Argilac was coming, how many men he had, and how fast he marched. So Horus simply seized the high ground and dug in on the hills to wait for Argilac. As the two
Preparation.
armies approached, the wind rose to meet them and the rain poured from the sky, a gale which would give the battle its name, the Last Storm. King Argilac's lords urged him to wait for the weather to die down, but the Storm King saw that the rain was blowing into the faces of the Baratheon men on their hills. And Argilac outnumbered the Baratheon host 2-1, with 4 times as many knights and heavy horse. Argilac attacked. 3 times Argilac led his knights against the Baratheon line, but the hills were steep and the rain had beat the earth to mud. The war horses foundered and slipped, and the chargers collapsed. The battle seemed lost, until Argilac ordered his spearmen up the hill. Blinded by the rain, the Baratheons didn't see them until it was too late. One hill fell, then another, and another, until only one remained in the Baratheon center. If Argilac could break through there, he could split the invading army and flank both halves. Argilac and his men charged, and the Baratheon line broke. revealing Queen Rhaenys and Meraxes. Argilac's vanguard burst into flame and his men panicked. The victory charge fell into chaos, and Argilac himself was thrown from his horse. But he didn't yield. When Orys Baratheon arrived, he found the old king holding off half a dozen men and another half dozen dead at his feet. Orys dismounted to meet the king on equal footing and offered Argilac one final chance to yield. Argilac cursed him instead. As the storm raged around them, the grizzled old warrior and the bearded upstart fought for life and kingdom. In the end, Argilac got his wish. He died, sword in hand. As word of Argilac's death spread, his lords and knights threw down their swords and fled. Orys and his vanguard rode to Storm's End to claim Argilac's castle for Aegon, only to find the gates barred and the walls manned. Argilac's daughter had assumed his crown, and the new Storm Queen was as fond of yielding as her father. She declared that Orys would win only bones, blood, and ashes here. But her men were weaker than her, and that night Orys found Argilac's daughter delivered, gagged, chained, and naked to his camp.
Wow.
Argilac had refused to give Orys her hand. Now Orys could have any part of her he wished. But Orys unchained the girl, wrapped his cloak around her, and poured her a glass of wine. He told her he would take the arms, banner, and words of House Durrandon to honor her father's courage in the last storm. Conveniently, Orys had none of his own to discard first. The crowned stag became the sigil of House Baratheon, and Storm's End their seat. Argilac's daughter would even remain in her home, though as a lady instead of a princess. The Stormlands were now Aegon's, and as tribute, Aegon demanded the swords of the men Orys had defeated.
Chess, not
For what
checkers.
purpose? Orys didn't know.
Now, just like that, King Robert's ancestors, they defeated these niggas, took their castle, and they motherfucking sigil and house words. Like, give me all this shit.
Yeah, that was some
Yeah.
yeah.
Give me all this shit. Now, I could do your daughter dirty. Cause your men delivered her to me.
Yeah.
Your men delivered her to me. I could do her dirty. Like, I asked for her hand. Okay, like what Vera said, he can have any part of you want now. But he ain't on that. He told her, you know what? I'm gonna let you live. You can still stay in the kingdom, but you ain't finna be no princess. You gonna be a lady.
Right.
I ain't even gonna be bogus to you.
Right.
I just killed your pops. I ain't gonna be super bogus to
So
you.
I allow you to be a lady, so you still won't be like in the downtrodden. Real talk.
I ain't gonna be super bogus to you. Ooh, House Lannister, Casterly Rock, and House Gardner. Y'all asked about House Gardner too.
Aegon now ruled 2 of the 7 kingdoms.
Who that is?
He would
Who
no
that sound
longer
like?
be able to take the rest piecemeal. For the first time in thousands of years,
Is that Littlefinger?
kings put aside their
No.
squabbles and join forces
That's
against a
Jaime.
common enemy.
Is that
My
Jamie?
ancestor, King Lauren of House Lannister,
The sister
was head of the
fucker.
wealthiest family in the 7 kingdoms.
I look, me and the voices,
King
I'll
Lauren
never
joined his
catch
forces to
that.
learn of House Gardner, King of the Reach. They had the mightiest army in history, a so-called Iron Fist, to break the would-be conqueror. But while an iron fist can smash a man's face in battle, you'd look silly hunting birds or beasts with it. And Aegon had a creature that was both. The kings had never even seen a dragon, let alone fought one. They had fought each other for thousands of years, and victory always went to the larger man. Surely, a force 5 times that of Aegon's could manage one dragon. But Aegon arrived with 3. Still, the Lannisters and Gardeners hoped for victory. The battlefield they chose was a wide plain with firm ground and clear skies, perfect for archers and mounted cavalry. But neither of the kings spared a thought for why the ground was firm. There had been no rain for a fortnight, which meant all the wheat and grass on it were bone dry. Perfect for dragons. At first, the kings looked like they would emerge victorious. When the horn blew for battle, their armies swept around Aegon's flanks, and their iron fist of mounted knights smashed through his center before the dragons could even enter the fray. But then, Aegon and his sisters took flight and unleashed their dragons not on the soldiers, but on the dry fields all around them. The iron fist unclenched and became a hand outstretched for mercy. As Aegon promised, he had none. More than 4,000 men died in the fires, another 1,000 escaping. Tens of thousands returned home as monsters, burned and scarred beyond recognition. House Gardner never returned at all. The Field of Fire, as the singers call it, claimed the last of the Garden line, and House Tyrell rose in their stead as Lords of the Reach and Wardens of the South. As for my illustrious ancestor, when King Lawrence saw the battle was lost, he rode through a wall of flame and smoke to safety, or at least to a heroic capture a day later, where he laid his sword before Aegon and knelt. Aegon, true to his word, spared him and confirmed House Lannister as Lords of Casterly Rock and Wardens of the West. Why wouldn't he? A Lannister always pays his debts, and now we owed our lives to the crown. That was worth centuries of subservience at least. Besides, Aegon had a fetish for collecting swords, not heads. He added Lawrence to the pile his men had retrieved from the Field of Fire and sent them back to the Aegon Fort.
So we know why Aegon collected swords.
With most
You know why,
of the
right?
south in Aegon's hands, the best chance to throw back the Conqueror now lay with the north, if we cared enough to try.
Well, y'all don't know.
Unlike our
She sounds a
southern
little older
rivals,
now.
the Stark Kings of Winter
Pardon me?
did forge the north.
She sound
into
older,
one
so y'all
kingdom
wouldn't know.
full of glory or
Is this
wrong.
Ari?
There was little of
No.
either here.
Same family.
But to survive.
Sansa.
Sansa.
Alone in Westeros, the North remembered when worse than dragons laid waste to armies. Thousands of years ago, the
They
sun
shot this
set on the
after
realms of
season
men
8.
and the long night began. A new race emerged from the ice and snow, the White Walkers. They demanded no crown, offered no terms, spared no life, and the dead marched with them. With humanity facing extinction, a Stark sought out the children of the forest, the most ancient beings in Westeros, and convinced them to ally with the men they once fought. Together, the two races pushed the Walkers back into the land of always winter and sealed it off from the Seven Kingdoms with the Wall. 300 miles of ice, stone, and earth, rising nearly 700 feet tall. To guard it, they established the Night's Watch, a brotherhood sworn to defend the living from the dead, whose vows erase both titles and crimes.
After the long night, the North tried to forget it belonged to a continent. Perhaps through pride, perhaps through sheer ignorance. You never can tell with the North. But as news of Aegon's dragons spread, Torrhen Stark, the King of Winter...
Pause it right there. That's important.
Right.
You see, he said, after the long night, the North forgot they was a part of a continent. Whether it be through sheer pride or ignorance. Nigga, we just defeated the dead.
Together.
Right. We not finna bow down to nobody else. Fuck
Right.
y'all. We our own independence. Y'all ain't want to help us. Fuck off. Kiss my ass.
Move around.
Yeah, we on our own. We good.
He couldn't
We got it
forget
from here.
Westeros any longer, and summoned his lords to Winterfell. Many fools shrugged off the threat, while the rest placed wagers on how long the South would take to burn. Torrhen silenced them with a command to assemble their armies and descend from the north in force.
As the kings of the Rock and the Reach burned on the Field of Fire, the greatest northern force since the Long Night crossed the neck into the Riverlands. But when King Torrhen arrived at the Trident, he saw, on the opposing riverbank, the combined strength of all Aegon's conquered kingdoms. A force larger than Torrhen's own by half, and with 3 dragons.
That night, King Torrhen called a conference of all his lords and advisors. Some wanted to fight.
This is their great-great-great-granddaddy.
The wisest of them wanted to withdraw to Moat Cailin, the fortress which had thrown back every southern invasion, and burn there. One
Torrhen
suicidal
Stark,
lord
the first
even
king
wanted
in
to
the north.
ambush Aegon's camp in the dark and kill the dragons as they slept, or at the very least, their riders. It's hard to tell what would have been his fate. Burning, beheading, dismemberment, perhaps all three.
My ancestor listened to their counsel, and in the morning crossed the trident under a flag of parley. Then King Torrhen of House Stark laid his ancient crown at Aegon's feet and was named Lord of Winterfell and Warden of the North.
And the king knelt.
He had no choice, and thanks to him, our soldiers returned to their homes whole and unharmed. The swords that Aegon took from them were not twisted, burnt, or mangled.
Yet.
That's the throne. Oh,
Pretty much.
Her.
I mean, yeah, we
you know.
The Vale of Arryn was the last of the great kingdoms left. Old.
Now this is House Aaron. This is y'all remember
Aaron sounds familiar.
House Aaron, John Aaron.
John Aaron, yeah. The first hand, yeah.
He was married to Mama Cat's sister.
Right.
Remember she was breastfeeding her grown ass son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With her still ass.
This was Rob hand, right?
Right? No.
No, I mean
The
not
Mad
Rob.
King's hand.
The Mad
The Mad
King.
King.
No. He was Rob's hand.
Rob, yeah, Rob.
You're right. He was Rob's hand before he hired Ned. Mm-hmm. You also John Aaron is the man who basically like was Ned and Rob's father figure.
Father figure. Yeah, because they like brothers type. Yeah, okay, I remember. Okay.
This is House Aaron.
And proud, House Arryn did what they always
know this
did
voice.
in times of strife. They shut the bloody gate, sealing off the Vale.
Is that my boy?
Then the Queen Regent
That's
Sarah
John.
of House Arryn retreated with
Little
her
finger.
son, the boy King Ronald, into the eyrie
Is he
of their
Sarah?
family's impregnable fortress. From the top of their mountain, they could look down on
That's the little finger.
Hey, Shia on it. She in here live with us. She's sticking through on God. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the Mod Squad, Shia.
Let's go.
Yes, Shia.
Dragon Vhagar beside her. Just as he'd asked for another cake at dinner, little King Ronald asked his mother if he could go flying on the nice lady's dragon. Visenya smiled at Shara. So, Shara imagined, did Vhagar. Remembering her manners, Shara asked if she could have Visenya brought some wine or food. She must be tired after such a long flight. But Visenya demurred. Bored with his mother's pleasantries, Ronald demanded an answer. Poor boy. He didn't even understand the question.
That sound like Prince Cash.
Shara hesitated for a moment, then asked Visenya, as a mother, if it was safe for the boy. Visenya assured her it was. What choice did Shara have? Whilst her son circled the castle, she collected his little ringlet, her own regent's coronet, and the ancient falcon crown of mountain and vale which the Arryns had worn for thousands of years. Ronald had taken to the sky as a king, but he landed as a lordling. Perhaps he considered his ancient rights a fair trade for a few minutes of flight, as a little boy would. More likely, he didn't even notice the 3 crowns at Visenya's feet, or recognize the swords of his garrison beside them.
That was some chess moves right there. Cause okay, boom.
You ain't see my face like,
Okay, so basically, it's 7 families that run the whole country.
Absolutely.
It's 7 kings.
Yeah.
Aegon is on that. It's gonna be 1 king. Me. So, me and my sister wives and our dragons, we finna fly to each one of these motherfuckers.
And destroy them.
No.
We're going to ask them to conform.
Right, we on piece
And
of
if
shit.
they don't
We on piece of
conform,
shit.
if
we
they
ain't gotta
do
say
not-
shit. Look, how they moving.
If they don't bow, we burn it.
Dragon, look at my fucking
If
dragon.
they don't bow, we burn it.
We ain't gotta say shit.
My house
They know
words
what's
is
up.
fire and blood.
We just gonna see how they coming.
She pulled up on this woman. This woman is walking through her hallways, going to go check on her son. Just like every other mother do. She know her son is outside playing. She going to go check on her boy. This before Ring cameras. So she gonna go check on her boy. She walk outside and she see the biggest dragon she has ever seen in her fucking life.
Hovering over a fucking baby. Like,
Her son is sitting on this woman's lap. And all this boy want to do is go fly on this dragon. And she know what this means. She like, bitch, this is Visenya, bitch.
He don't care.
Give me them crowns, or my dragon finna eat you and this boy.
The son
And
like,
she
Mama.
said this without saying this. That's what's so raw about it. I fucking love Targaryens. She said this without saying this shit on God.
Okay, let's get back in it. This shit good. First of his name.
The heads of Westeros had bowed to Aegon, but its heart still beat free. Old Town, the center of the faith of the Seven. There dwelt the High Septon, the father of the faithful, who commanded the obedience of all Westeros, save the savages of the north and their old gods. When Aegon had landed in Westeros, the High Septon had locked himself in the Starry Sept and fasted for 7 days and 7 nights, one to each of his gods. All he received for his trouble was the divine wisdom that if Old Town took up arms against the dragon, the city would burn, faithful and faithless alike. After the submission of House Stark, Aegon marched towards Old Town, steeling himself for another battle. But he found the gates open, with the High Septon welcoming him. The pious fool even had the arrogance to grant what Aegon had already won, and anointed the last Valyrian as Aegon of House Targaryen, first of his name, King of the Andals and the First Men, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, and Protector of the Realm. As if titles meant anything to a man before whom time itself now bowed. The Maesters would hence divide all history into before and after Conquest. Most expected Aegon to stay and make Old Town his seat. But soon after his coronation, Aegon returned to the mouth of the Blackwater River, where he had first set foot on Westeros. A small town had since sprouted around his primitive fort. To honor their new master, the locals dubbed it King's Landing, though it looked more fit for a hedge knight, with wooden palisades, muddy streets, and piles of mangled swords carted in from every corner of the Conquest. But when Aegon made it his court, wood became stone, black mud was buried beneath a red keep, and the collected swords of Aegon's foes were blasted by dragonfire and became a seat fit for the conqueror and the greatest dynasty this world has ever known. House Targaryen, my family, my throne. Or so
The
it should
Targaryens,
be.
ma.
House Martell of Dorne. Oh my
But
God!
while Aegon titled himself Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, in reality he held only 6.
Mama eyes was closed.
Dorne
Shit.
Oh,
had
Lord.
never knelt.
They were.
Visenya
We lied.
flew
They
into
saw it.
Vale and returned with its crown. Mimicking her sister, Rhaenys had flown over the enemy force holding the passes into Dorne and landed in the castle of its ruling lady, Princess Meria of House Martell. Meria was 80 years old, fat, bald, and blind. Behind her back, many sniggered. at
80
her as
fat,
they
bored,
yelled
and
to
blind.
Dorne. The beautiful Rhaenys probably thought as much when they met. She demanded Princess Meria kneel to her brother Aegon, though she allowed that on account of Meria's age and health, a simple vow of submission would do. But the princess told the queen that the Targaryens weren't wanted in Dorne, and no Martell would ever bow, bend, or break, no matter how badly they burned. Rhaenys could have mounted her dragon right then
They said,
and
"Bring it
roasted Meria in the castle as her brother had done in Harrenhal. But whatever she saw in Meria's eyes scared her right back to King's Landing, with a dragon's tail between its legs. After Aegon's coronation,
And this is the Martell. That was.
Rhaenys returned
Huh, I
home
want to know
with
what
Aegon
old
and
Marion
Visenya
got going on.
and their dragons. But no armies met them in the field, and no lords defied them in their castles. As the dragons approached, Dorne simply emptied. House Martell had learned from Harrenhal and the Field of Fire. The dragons were unbeatable in battle, but wars were more than battles. Unopposed, Aegon claimed Dorne for his own, but as soon as he returned to King's Landing, his castellans were hurled off towers and his royal garrison vanished in the desert, never to be seen again. Except perhaps when the winds change and the sands cough up old bones and armor. Release returned on their axes, intent on revenging herself against Martell Martell. But Dorne was no longer empty. The Dornish kept Maria's promise and fought even while burning under dragon flame. And they won. One day a bolt pierced the eye of Meraxes and knocked the dragon out of the sky. House Martell remained unbroken.
What the fuck?
Unlike the unfortunate Rhaenys.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Who is the
Every
Martells?
castle and city but Sunspear, trying to turn the people against House Martell. But the Dornish stayed loyal, and when Aegon returned to King's Landing, he found assassins waiting for him in the
Martell
streets
is
of
one of
his
the
own
original
capital.
7 houses.
If not for
Right?
Visenya,
But they
the
did.
conqueror would not have enjoyed his conquest.
Right? Martell is one of
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
original 7
know.
houses.
I'm saying, I
For
know that,
very
but
long,
Martell is one of the original
also
7
in the
houses.
city, but
But
They
as y'all can see,
powerful.
there's that one house
that's
that
what I'm
said, "Fuck
saying.
off."
That's what's making
Right.
me want to say, yeah, that's why I want to dig
So
deep
what
into
happened?
them.
trying to
Who
turn the
took
people
them
against
out?
House
We got to
Martell.
figure it out.
But the Dornish
Or do
stayed
they
loyal.
exist and we just ain't
And
seen
when
them yet?
Aegon returned to King's Landing,
you go.
he found assassins
You hit
waiting
that,
for
you
him
hit
in the
that.
streets of his own capital. If not for Visenya, the conqueror would not have enjoyed his conquest for very
Because
long.
they some bad
From
motherfuckers.
then on, the king and his
Yes.
family would be
They
guarded
can't be
by the
dead.
7 greatest knights
Not all
in the
of them
realm.
yet.
The King's Guard. When Maria died in her sleep, her weak and tired son sued for peace. But old Maria had exhausted Aegon as well, and he granted the request. The Targaryens still wanted Dorne, and eventually they would have it, but not at the point of the sword. They would buy it the same way great lords buy anything, with a daughter.
Yeah. See, that,
Last
yeah.
Dragon.
Dorne still on motherfucking business.
After the conquest, when men looked up, they saw dragons. Nobles learned to keep their eyes down, but the gods weren't used to sharing the heavens. When Aegon died, the High Septon led the Faith and its army in revolt, claiming that the Valyrian tradition of wedding brother to sister was an abomination in the eyes of the Seven. Though no one could explain where the divine...
Hey, she said Marion was the motherfucking Medea of the South.
That's what it sound like.
They stood on business. You can come with them dragons if you want. I got 5-2 for you. What the fuck? On God, they stood on business.
Mother and father had come from. My ancestor Maegor the Wise, or Maegor the Cruel as men slander him, put a bounty on the head of every militant priest, and miraculously, the faith soon returned to the sects. With Dorne in the fold and the faith put in its place, none in Westeros were left to oppose my family. So we started opposing each other. In a dance of dragons, a Targaryen princess tried to steal her brother's throne. Thanks to her stupidity, most of our dragons died, though one, thankfully, ate her before it did.
Wow.
But even without our dragons, we were still the blood of old Valyria, which proved just as dangerous. One of my foolish ancestors didn't see what separated his bastards from our family proper and legitimized them all on his deathbed. Adopting the name Blackfire, the bastards proved their nature and tried to seize their father's kingdom. And when they failed, their sons tried. When the sons failed, their grandsons tried, until finally Sir Barristan the Bold, Knight of the King's Guard, slew Meleys the Monstrous in the War of the Nine-Penny Kings, ending the last of the Blackfire line. Ultimately, without our dragons and with our blood diluted by commoners, we failed to see the greatest threat growing under our noses.
As the saying goes, every time a Targaryen is born, the gods flip a coin. He must have dropped the one for King Aerys. At first, he seemed to have dodged the family madness. But as he grew older, he began to see conspirators everywhere, and where there were none, he worked to create them. As one of his Kingsguard, I saw firsthand that a king who couldn't rule his own mind couldn't rule 7 kingdoms. We endured his reign because we hoped his son Rhaegar would right the realm when he ascended to the throne. But then Rhaegar proved as mad as his father and snatched Lyanna Stark, daughter of the Warden of the North and betrothed to Robert Baratheon, Lord of the Stormlands. When Lyanna's father and eldest brother demanded justice, the Mad King obliged, laughing as he dispensed it.
And this is how the fuck
Unsatisfied with
Ron
only 2 murders,
took
the Mad
over.
King then ordered Jon Arryn, Lord of the Vale, to execute his 2
That's it.
wards, Robert Baratheon and Eddard Stark. Instead, Jon Arryn raised the Vale in revolt. Ned
how he
Stark
became
slipped
hand.
past royalist sentries and raised the North, and Robert won 3 battles in a single day to unite the Stormlands behind him, only to be defeated by a royalist army and forced to flee, leaving his home of Storm's End besieged.
The Hand of the King finally cornered Robert in the town of the Stony Sept and sent his soldiers door to door searching for the rebel leader. But the villagers hated the Mad King and loved Robert, and kept him one step ahead of the soldiers, until only one refuge remained. As the soldiers closed in, all the town bells rang out. Hearing of Robert's plight, our father and Jon Arryn had rushed to the Riverlands and enlisted our grandfather Hoster Tully to help them. Together they routed the Hand's army and rescued Robert. To celebrate and cement the Tully alliance, our father wed our mother Catelyn and Jon Arryn took our aunt Lysa. Only a fortnight later, both men rushed back into the field, for the dragon had finally woken.
While my father's servants were losing my father's kingdoms, my brother Rhaegar had been cooped up with his mistress, whore, whatever else, I'd call her a distraction. But now Rhaegar came to his senses and returned to King's Landing. He persuaded our father to summon his estranged friend, Lord Tywin Lannister, the richest and most powerful lord in the realm. Rhaegar himself would lead the royal army against the usurper, Robert. On the banks of the Trident, my brother fought the man whose wife he'd stolen, and who fought to steal his birthright in return. In the end, Robert wanted it more. His hammer shattered my brother's armor, and its rubies fell into the river like raindrops, vanishing in the current.
With Rhaegar's defeat, nothing stood between Robert and King's Landing. Imagine the king's surprise a fortnight later when he saw not stags, but lions outside his gates. His former hand, Tywin Lannister, had come to the capital with a force even Robert couldn't match, claiming to be loyal to the king. Trusting what he wanted to believe, Aerys ordered the gates opened, and the Lannister forces dutifully began to rape, pillage, and murder the king's actual loyal subjects. When Eddard Stark finally arrived at the capital with Robert's army, he found Lannister banners hanging over the sacked city, Targaryen corpses littering its streets, and Sir Jaime Lannister sitting on the Iron Throne. Below him, the Mad King Aerys, whom Sir Jaime had sworn to guard, lay in a pool of his own blood from a sword thrust through his back.
was the one killed.
Jaime killed
Lord
the Mad King,
Eddard
yeah.
might have
But I
thanked
knew
Sir
that
Jaime
from
for
the
doing
yeah,
Rob a favour.
yeah.
But honourable as he was, Lord Eddard condemned Sir Jaime as a kingslayer, a name he would never escape.
Unlike Lord Eddard, Robert appreciated my contribution to his glorious victory. He pardoned me for my crime and even kept me on his Kingsguard beside Sir Barristan Selmy, who'd been wounded at the Trident fighting for Rhaegar. True, both of us had failed to protect our Targaryen charges, but perhaps that's what Robert liked most about us. When my father presented Robert with the bodies of Rhaegar's wife and 2 children, Ned Stark hiked up his skirts and demanded Robert send their killer to Dorne and me to the Wall. But I saw what Ned couldn't. Robert was ashamed of the bodies, and more ashamed of his relief. He knew that Rhaegar's heirs had to die or his throne would never be safe. But glorious heroes didn't kill children. They simply didn't punish their murderers.
No doubt I would have suffered a similar fate. But my father had wisely sent me and my pregnant mother to Dragonstone. When the usurper heroically sent men to kill me, my newborn sister, to protect his stolen throne, a loyal knight smuggled us across the narrow sea to Essos. And so the last dragons of Valyria, heirs to the greatest dynasty from the greatest civilization this world has ever known, slept in sewers.
I mean, yeah, I get it.
That shit crazy.
This was before we knew
He
that,
coming for his shit.
his head was gonna be gold plated.
Rob thought that. That's what I'm saying.
No, this is actually afterwards. They shot this afterwards.
After.
He
Oh,
coming for
well.
his shit.
So guess what? We already know his head gonna be gold plated.
So, how do y'all feel about Aegon's Conquest? The first stage of the Targaryen
I know,
dynasty.
right? The Targaryen. It's deep. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
It's deep.
yeah. So watching this helps me to understand like a little bit better the
the
history.
backstory, like you said.
Yeah.
This is history and lore.
Yeah, yeah. It helps
the
me get the
Of the
backstory.
show, like
Right.
like how the different houses came about, but like it's so many other houses that I want to learn about. Like it's other houses that you know what I'm saying. The show don't even speak
guess what?
upon, like
I
the
don't need to know-
Martells.
Look, I don't even need to know about. I need to know who took them out.
Not even who took them out, where they at. If they laying low, if they waiting to attack, or you know what I'm saying, waiting.
So more than likely, if
'Cause you
we
know
are
I'm s-
not seeing them, oh, you right though.
Because-
I gotta.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta think
What
about
the
it.
thought that I was about to let out, I have to stop because I was about to say if we don't see them, they don't exist, and that's not true. Because
The Targaryens.
that last family they talked about, I can't remember the name. Oh Lord,
House Martell.
House Martell, that's what I'm saying.
was it
But,
Martell?
yeah, that was Martell. That's what I'm saying. How you know that's what I'm saying. It's deep. It's deep. And
Was it
they
Martell where I
that
was like,
Martell.
where they at? Where,
That was
yeah.
House Martell.
Because they was the fire people. They were like,
they
not
land-
fire,
no,
not
they-
fire like real
they
fire.
scared the-
But they
yeah.
was the people that was like rocking it. They was whooping
No,
everybody's
they-
ass.
they-
So if they out here
They was
doing
the
that,
one
where they
house
at?
that stood up against the Targaryens that had the Targaryens
right.
like, wait a minute, and basically
So
scared, put fear in their
if
heart.
they were able
So,
to do that, I know they still exist. So why we ain't heard about them yet? I can't wait.
they probably laying low,
look.
but like I said, they go back like the Targaryens was laying low. You feel me? They ain't know about Daenerys
For a little
Viserys.
second, right?
They didn't know about them.
Yeah. You right. You
They
right.
was laying low.
You right.
Unbowed, unbent, unbroken. The words of House
What's
Martell,
this?
a promise to our enemies and a challenge to our lovers. Thousands of years ago, the warrior queen Nymeria crossed into Dorne from Essos, fleeing the dragon lords of Validia. After she landed, she burned her ships, all 10,000 of them, so no cowards could slink home.
10,000.
What a woman. Dornish in spirit before she ever was in flesh. She was lucky to land in Dorne, where powerful women are not locked away in septs and the beds of old men. My ancestor Mors Martell saw her and desired her, and proved that where armies fail, a town may succeed. Wedding his strength to hers, his spear to her son, they subdued all his rivals together. After the tradition of her people, House Martell then ruled Dorne as princes, not kings. Unless the eldest child was a daughter, for unlike the rest of Westeros, our loyalty isn't commanded by a cock. We follow a prince or a princess Martell just the same. And we always have. Some people forget that Aegon Targaryen crowned himself lord of 6 kingdoms, not 7. When his sister marched on Dorne, she found no mighty hosts drawn up against her for her dragon to burn and her soldiers to slaughter. The sands swirled, men died, and her dragon saw nothing. The sun shone, men died,
and her dragon bowed to our greater fire. The Targaryens retreated with their tails tucked between their legs. Of course, in later years, his descendants would try again. Daeron the First succeeded at great cost and reigned in Dorne for a few glorious months. One night, his steward pulled down a sash by his bed to summon his consorts. Instead, the canopy split open and 100 red scorpions fell on him. He was a Tyrell. You would think he would be used to getting stung. Within a fortnight, House Martell again ruled a free Dorne. Eventually, after centuries of courtship, House Martell got into bed with the Targaryens. We took King Daeron II and his sister for our own before they could take each other, and 6 kingdoms became 7. Even now, I do not blame my ancestors. One look at those long, silver locks. It is not every day a man gets to ride a dragon. But they soon learned that you can't leap off a dragon at will. My sister Elia, she married Prince Rhaegar Targaryen and became the princess she already was. In Dorne, she walked among vipers and none.
Hey, real quick. Black Valyria pointed out something. Dorne and House Martell. House Martell of Dorne is the family that Tyrion told Cersei that her daughter is married. Marcella off to Dorne.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
So we heard that before, but I didn't catch it. Thank you, Valeria girl. I didn't catch it.
I don't even think they said the name though.
We heard that before.
He said,
Martell?
House Martell.
House of Martell. He did.
Okay. Good catch. Good catch. Good
Now, we want to give a shout out to what is it, Rusty Shackleford. Welcome to the channel.
Welcome, Russ.
Welcome to the chat. Rusty, welcome to the chat.
Welcome, Rusty.
Big Russ.
He said, "What's up, chilling, smoking, and watching
Chilling,
y'all."
smoking. That's what I'm saying. Big Russ, not the little one. I already
Hey,
knew it.
yeah.
Let's go.
Hey.
You would think he would be used to getting stung. Within a fortnight, House Martell again ruled a free Dorne. Eventually, after centuries of courtship, House Martell got into bed with the Targaryens. We took King Daeron II and his sister for our own before they could take
He
each
said,
other.
"That's what's up. I
And
fucks
6
with y'all."
kingdoms became 7. Even now, I do not blame my ancestors. One look at those long, silver locks. It is not every day a man gets to ride a dragon. But they soon learned that you can't leap off a dragon at will.
Hell no,
My
you
sister
can't.
Elia, she married Prince Rhaegar Targaryen and became the princess she already was. In Dorne, she walked among vipers, and none would bite her. In King's Landing, she found herself surrounded by lions. When Robert Baratheon rebelled against his rightful king, his future father-in-law, Tywin Lannister, ordered his beast, Gregor Clegane, to rape and murder my sister.
Wow.
Her helpless children.
Crazy, right?
And men called the Lannisters heroes. Now, Lannisters sit
Ben tells y'all they some dirty motherfuckers.
surrounded by the blasted
Bring
swords
that back
of
one
Aegon's
time, one
broken
time.
foes, children. And met his future father-in-law, Tywin Lannister, ordered his beast, Gregor Clegane, to rape and murder my sister.
Gregor
Along
Clegane.
with her helpless
The
children.
mountain.
And men called the Lannisters.
Gregor Clegane.
Go
is
take
the
it back.
mountain.
Clegane.
Sit on the Iron Throne.
That's why you ran it back.
Wait, look, listen.
Gregor and Sandor. Gregor is the mountain, and Sandor is the hound.
Ready was.
So they brothers.
She walked among vipers, and none would bite
They
her.
brothers.
In King's Landing, she found herself surrounded by lions. Rebelled against his rightful king, his future father-in-law, Tywin Lannister, ordered his beast, Gregor Clegane, to rape and murder my sister, along with her helpless children. And men called the Lannisters heroes. Now,
So-
Lannisters sit on the
Paris. Pause. So I'm sipping a little bit or whatever. I need to. The person that is narrating this is. Tell me the name.
You have not met him yet.
Tell me his name though.
Okay.
Why not? He just told me that that's his sister, so I know his name is whatever Lugain. What is his first name?
No. The dude that's talking, he's a Martell.
He said he raped and murdered my sister.
Yes.
Chat. Okay, I'm gonna ask the chat. Chat. Should I let Mother know who is narrating?
Obviously, if he don't
I would
wanna
really
listen-
love
The
to
Viper.
know.
Y'all know who the Viper
I need
is.
to
His
know.
nickname
So that
is
really
the Viper.
means that
Y'all
we
know
gonna
who
find
he
out
is.
soon. If he not
Should I
telling
tell
us,
her who
that
his
means we're
name
gonna find
is?
out during our show.
Look, nope, they said no.
Okay,
Just
then
said no.
yeah.
All right.
I'm taking
I'm gonna
that
say
step.
this. I trust y'all, and I'm good with that. But I'm also
But the mountain-
like I'm a context clue person. So he said raped and murdered my sister. So
The
I'm like,
mountain.
okay, and that's why I
The
was like,
Hand's brother.
hold
You remember who the
on.
Hand
Yeah.
is? I mean, not the Hand. The Hound.
The Hound.
You remember the Hound?
Yes.
The Hound is the one. You know who the Hound is, right? Yes. Who is the Hound? The Hound is the one. Okay, so that's the one that you like. He kind of on Lady Sansa's side. On Sansa's side. The
So
one.
wait,
he was like,
wait. I looked at you like that because I'm like, how you gonna just like question me right
I
now?
thought you was gonna answer me.
No,
I'm
I
so
just looked at
sorry.
you like that. Like, how you gonna question me? Because I told you I like him because he helping her, even though she not realizing he helping her.
Yeah.
So I do remember him, and this the kicker. This is
The
his
Hand-
brother.
Yeah, not the
No,
Hand.
no,
I keep
no.
saying the Hand.
Not
Dude
that-
The dude that's talking is no. The dude that's
No,
talking.
no, the one who killed his sister.
Yeah.
That's his brother.
Right.
That's the Mountain.
Right. So that's why I'm like, well, who is this?
That's the Mountain.
Now,
They don't get along, remember?
his sister, the one who was killed, was married. She was married. She was the princess. She was married to Rhaegar Targaryen, Khaleesi's brother, the one who we can't see because he died.
Okay.
The one who King Robert killed. The one who King Robert was engaged to.
Okay.
Her right.
He kidnapped King Robert's
Sister.
fiance.
Okay, yeah.
But he was married to his
The kidnapper of King Robert's fiance.
right is Prince Rhaegar.
Okay.
The dude that's talking, his sister was married to Prince Rhaegar, Khaleesi's brother. So this is Elia Martell he's talking about. I love the Dornish. I love the way they speak. That's my Latin people.
That's why I promise you, I'm.
On the Iron Throne.
I need a map.
surrounded by
I need like.
It's coming.
I need a
It's
tree.
coming.
I
It's
need a-
coming.
I wonder
It's coming.
if they remember, as I do, that none of those swords are ours. I wonder if they see, as I do, my sister's red blood soaking into the stones of their precious red cape. Maybe they need reminding. The lion may be a mighty beast, but pride always lifts his gaze to the horizon, never seen in the grass. The viper.
Explaining complex topics can be challenging. Highlight the text you want to simplify and let Grammarly.
I think you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Martell, they ain't playing.
Yeah, them
Not at all.
The Lannisters is some dogs though. Tywin did that shit. He ordered the Mountain to kill. Yeah.
Remember, he did this because he went to the Mad King. He was like, "Okay, I'm your hand.
Right.
We're the richest family in the whole.
In the whole kingdom.
It makes sense for the most powerful family to marry the most richest family. Have your son marry my daughter."
Right.
The Mad King was like, "Man,
Fuck
you
your
and
daughter.
your daughter."
Nigga, fuck your daughter.
So you're
You ain't
nasty.
not
Oh.
only, matter of fact, not only fuck you and your daughter, But because I know you don't like your imp son, you got 2 sons. I know you don't like this one.
Yeah.
You really like this one. I'm gonna take this one and make him a part of my king's guard. He can't have no wife. He can't have no kids.
Funk
he
it out
can't
of-
carry on the family line. So
Guess what? I'm
fuck
fucking you.
and
Right.
your family.
Fuck you. Right, I'm fucking you. I'm fucking you all in your booty with no grease.
Whoa.
I'm not giving you nothing.
No
No grease,
Vaseline.
no lube, no nothing.
No Vaseline.
I'm just straight taking it to you.
He told him straight off. You know what Cody Rhodes told The Rock last night? Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself. That's what the
Did
Mad
he?
King told Tywin. Yes.
I don't, you know.
That's what the Mad King told Tywin. Go fuck yourself. Now,
Wow.
because he told him that,
Okay.
all right, you beefing right now with Robert. Robert just killed your son, so you need my help. So I'm finna pull up for you, gang. I'm finna pull up.
Yeah.
Just open the door.
I'm gonna come ride for you.
Just open the door.
Yeah, let me in.
He opened the door, and Tywin people raped and plundered the whole fucking city. Killed all the Mad King's men, killed everybody. Fuck you mean?
Yeah.
Fuck my family? No, fuck you and your family.
Well, your goofy ass shouldn't have never let me in.
And not only that, nigga, I'm finna have this big ass nigga who's like 9
You
foot
were
tall.
not secure in the
Rape
fact.
and kill your fucking sister
Right.
and her motherfucking kids.
Right.
Your
But
daughter-in-law.
I mean,
this,
yeah,
this is my thing right here. You were not secure in the fact that I was 100% on your side. You weren't. So why you let me in?
Yeah. Shia pointed out who convinced the Mad King to open the door. It was in Histories. It was in the first season of Histories and Lore.
And Lord,
Y'all probably won't remember, so I'm gonna let y'all know.
I don't remember
Grand
who.
Maester Pycelle, the old man who acting like he
bent over
I'm
and
going
messed
his
up.
ass. You know what? Yeah, cause
Remember
that nigga,
remember
I mean, with
when
that,
the
yeah,
imp,
him.
the imp
Yeah,
just
sit down.
pulled up on him. He was, I always serve Lannister.
And did. Yeah.
Mad King, like, he's standing at the gate like, okay, this nigga Tywin just quit. And he probably in his feelings, so I ain't gonna let him in. Pycelle was like, he cool, folks.
Yeah.
Let him on up in here, bro. He good.
Let him in, folks. He cool,
He
folks.
good, bro.
Oh man, yeah. So can't wait for the other two to get here, the
Emotions
rest of the
always
crew,
get
so
a
we can
motherfucker
get back
fucked
into
up.
to season 2. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Where we
part.
at? We at season 2, episode 3. Yeah.
Now, we recorded episode 4, but Mama and Ari,
Okay, don't start no stuff. I already
Right.
know I gotta-
Mama and
gotta bring
Ari
it up.
was asleep halfway through. I'm going to bring it up.
What, episode
I'm
4?
not gonna
3 and
reference.
4.
3
You know what I'm
and
saying?
4?
No.
Bro,
No. Episodes 4 and 5. But we just dropped 3.
Okay, the
Episodes 4
tequila
and 5.
way be getting me lit the way.
I mean,
But
like
anyway,
this in our defense.
Tequila way be getting me lit the way.
Right. We
But
like
anyway.
the tequila and the job. We punching the clock.
I really want to redo it because I honestly was lit, so we gotta redo it so we can
so that
yeah.
I can really,
But with
really
that being said, we're gonna have to
know
do
what's
it.
happening.
Yeah, because Cassidy and Damage, the rest of the crew, the 2 live crew. Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
they're not here.
We gotta wait till they get here.
And we need
so
them.
with that being said, we can't wait to dive in. Black
And
Valeria,
Willow.
we love you, girl.
Yes, boo.
You've been locked in since day 1.
and we love
Let
it.
me point that out first and foremost. We love you.
Much love.
Thank you to everybody that's been liking, that's been subscribing, that's been a part of the super chats, that's been a part of everything. Thank you to all our new subscribers.
Love you guys.
We notice everything. It does not go unnoticed. With that being said, we cannot wait till we get really, really fully into it. Right now, we are considered what you call sweet summer children, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, but I need the booty out the camera.
Yeah, it was all in there, but that's okay.
They can't see that because
But yeah, we are what you guys call, like y'all said, sweet summer children, right?
Yes.
And right now, we are so locked in. We are so
Absolutely.
locked in.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Like, so I stopped like taking my notes because my head was down, and I need to see what's happening. But there are, like I said, a couple of things I need to help me
Sweet Summer Children. So I got a question though.
stay locked in though.
What do we do? What are we when we graduate from Sweet Summer Children? What do we become?
Yeah. Like, what's our next step?
I've been wondering that.
I'm gonna let the chat answer that.
Yeah.
Are we asking them?
So I know we're still very much freshmen.
And
in the
then
game,
look,
but
how much longer do we have before we graduate from Sweet Summer Children?
Exactly.
That part.
Yeah. My son is very.
He
vocal
back
right
there
now.
like really.
I like what another season and a half.
Prince
So
Pass
around
versus his
season
name
4,
is not playing.
we graduate,
I see.
right?
Yeah.
So what do we become after Sweet Summer Children is what I'm saying.
Like we said, we're gonna let the chat answer that. If we don't get the
I'm
answer
waiting
tonight,
on it. I'm waiting.
Then the ladies of Westeros.
Oh,
Say who what now?
The ladies of Westeros.
Ladies of Westeros.
You remember it had all the
The
houses?
queen and queen mother.
I'm gonna be the
I'll
queen.
take it. I'll take it.
Okay, she can be the queen. I'm the queen mother.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I
With
love
that being
it.
said, queen.
I love it.
Queen has to tinkle.
Queen. I'm queen mother. The
It's
ladies
lit.
of
It's very,
Westeros.
very lit. Very, very lit.
We might have to change the drink when we become the ladies of Westeros.
We can make our own drink.
That's what I'm saying.
Westeros
It's gonna
tequila.
contain.
Oh my God.
It's still gonna contain
I'm just
tequila.
playing, y'all. Don't listen to me.
So maybe we'll have our neutral slushy, the slushy thing, and we can make whatever we want as long as it contains tequila. You know what I'm saying?
All right, guys. That is it. That's the end of the stream. The battery keeps dying on me.
Thank you guys. Love you. Thank you
We
for
love
tuning
y'all.
in. Thank you for subscribing.
Shouts out to Shia. Shouts out to Black
Valeria,
Valeria.
Yes.
Shia, we love y'all. Thank y'all again for
The
everything.
backseat quarterback.
Let's go.
The Lord
Backseat
Commander.
quarterback.
Everybody that tuned in.
Everybody.
Rusty.
Yes. Yes.
He said tequila and that green Red Bull. All right, Rusty.
Hey,
know what he know.
yes.
Rusty know what he
Whoa,
know.
Rusty. It's a green Red Bull.
Yeah.
Big Rusty, not the little Rusty. Let's
Rusty
go.
know what he know on game.
Nobody
So Rusty, when Mama try that green Red Bull, I'm gonna let you know what to do.
Other people
God.
call it the devil's lettuce.
Oh,
All right.
That being said, let's go.
Good night, y'all.
Let's
Good
get
night.
Some of that green Red Bull.
deuces, lay out.